that you made your way up to Shamineau. Enjoy your stay. Visit the horses, but don't eat the hay. Down at the waterfront, it's mighty fine. At the ropes course, there's an awesome zip line. I think I'll end this with the number 9, and I don't know what that means. I just came out and said it. Don't know if we are ever gonna get it. I wish I had a point, but I probably won't get it. Glad you're here at Camp Shamineau. We'll learn together, we'll have a good time. I can't say that I've ever punched a mine, even though we had it coming, and I don't know what that means. I just came out and said it. Don't know if we are ever gonna get it. I wish I had a point, but I probably won't get it. Glad you're here at Camp Shamineau. Glad you're here at Camp Shamineau. Glad you're here at camp. Glad you're here at camp. Glad you're here at Camp Shamineau.
Hello friends and welcome to Shamineau Live. We are super excited to have you all here today. Today our theme is Science Friday. So get ready for a lot of fun, get ready for some experiments, and get ready to get sciencey. It is going to be a great time. Today our sponsor is Experimental. So you can play that video.
Science is all we ever dream about. Since we were kids, we never had a doubt. We got our first lab coats when we were only 4 and 6. Our moms and dads thought that we should play outside, but we had different ideas in our mind. A chemical shift had happened in our cerebral cortex. We've gone completely experimental. There's no turning back, it's elemental. No, that's not my microscope, it's a rental. We've gone completely experimental. Nothing makes us happier than seeing what happens when beakers of chemicals start foaming up, and we love our safety goggles as much as is legal. If you accept us into your academy, we'll reset the periodic table from our memory. Then we'll create a new species from toothpaste and eagles. 'Cause we've gone completely experimental. There's no turning back, it's elemental. No, that's not my microscope, it's a rental. Yeah, we've gone completely experimental. Hey, we've gone completely experimental. We're not turning back, it's elemental. And if we don't get in, we'll go into dental. 'Cause we've gone completely experimental. It's all because of science. Yeah, it's all because of science. Man, we love us some science. Yes, we do. Now step away from my Bunsen burner.
That's right, folks. We have gone completely experimental here at Camp Shamineau, and we have a lot of experiments going on today, so you are going to have to gather a lot of things. You'll need mostly things that you can find around your house, so we're in luck, but we'll need something like a glass bottle, you'll need an egg, and several other things throughout the day, so stay tuned, stay on your guard for what we're going to be grabbing, because we're doing a lot of fun stuff. Just as a reminder, you will all have the opportunity to get some cabin points. So if you're watching us live, you can have 1,000 cabin points per person who's watching us live. If you're watching us later on, that's okay too. We love that. So you can have 500 cabin points for watching later on. Just as a reminder, you have to count your cabin points by today and submit those to us so that next week we can figure out who the winner of the family of the week is. So gather your cabin points and do as much as you can today to get some last minute cabin points, because you never know who's going to be in the lead. So I thought we would just get started today with some jokes, the way we usually do. Now, these are pretty good ones, folks. How does a scientist freshen her breath? With experiments. Get it? Experiments. It's fantastic. How do you cut the sea in half? Now this is like a biological oceanography related joke. How do you cut the sea in half? Naturally, with a seesaw. Oh, I'm so funny. I make terrible science puns. It's great. But only periodically. Get it? Periodic table of elements. I make science puns periodically. Oh, I should get paid for this. I'm so great. Why did the germ cross the microscope? To get to the other slide. Because microscopes have little slides on them that you look at. Why do you want a mushroom at your birthday party? Because he's a fun guy! Haha, get it? Because mushrooms are funguses or fungi. Mushrooms are fun guys. I love it. Oh, that was so much fun. And we have a lot more fun coming up. We have a vlog with our very own Scout. So stay ready for that.
Hey guys, welcome to my vlog today. And today I'm going to vlog about how to vacation at your own home, okay? So, obviously, you can do, you might have had a vacation canceled because of what's going around today, but you can still vacation at home with what you got, okay? So, first off, obviously when you're on vacation, you're gonna be wanting wearing clothes that are vacation-y. So I have, underneath my sweatshirt, give me 1 second, I have a t-shirt so that I can soak in those sun rays better than through my sweatshirt. So yeah, if you guys have t-shirts you guys want to put on, that's also really good at getting those sun rays in. But I also have my visor. That's my summertime hat that I like to wear in the summer, so I'm getting all these feely vacation vibes in with my t-shirt, my hat, and I'm actually on some green grass because I don't have a beach accessible right outside my room. So this is right outside my room, and I'm comfortable enough. I'm sitting on my my chair that I can sit on. But the most important thing you need to remember about vacationing at home is even if the clouds are covering the sun, there's still UV rays. So you got to make sure you take your sunscreen, apply generously. I'm gonna go like this. Ready? Just like that. Down the nose too. Make sure you get the nose. Nose is very important. You don't want to get the nose tip burnt. And then something my mom always taught me and told me to make sure I got was my ears. Okay, the ears are actually, when you're not wearing a hat to cover them, they're actually one of the most things that are susceptible to sunburn. So all this excess stuff, when you can't put it on your nose, your cheeks anymore, rub it in your arms. Okay. So I'm rubbing it into my arms, boom, 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 so I don't get sunburn, because sunburn is not good and it hurts. So I got my sunscreen on the ears too, face, got my arms sunscreened up, t-shirt on, hat on, and actually I have on order some vacation cups. So I have a cup coming that I have with little umbrellas in it, just to be able to chillax, take a vacation, and just be able to sit out in the fresh air, enjoy some sunshine when it comes. And yeah, so without further ado, let's see what you guys can do for your very own vacation at home. But otherwise, I'm going to throw it back to Matthew.
Thank you, Scout, for those exciting tips on how to have a fun vacation. You know, when I'm on vacation, the number one thing I like to do is science. Because science is cool. And science is fun. So, One thing you can do, because a lot of you will go places where there's water when you're going on vacation, you can just grab a cup of water, or you can even do this at home. You don't even have to be on vacation. You can have your own little science vacation at home this afternoon. It's great. So I have here an arrow, and I have here a jar of water. And fun thing about water, it refracts light. So if you put this arrow behind the jar of water and look at it, depending on where it's positioned, the arrow will change direction by science. So let's see if we can see this. You might not be able to see it on screen, folks, but trust me, and then you can test it yourself. Do you see that? Is it changing direction? Yeah, look at that. That's cool, isn't it? Well, if you can't see it here, folks, you can try it at home. Super simple. All you need is a jar of water and an arrow, and then you, too, can have a fun science vacation, because science is cool. And so now we have a random skill that Callie is going to be teaching us.
Hi Shamineau, my name is Callie. Welcome to my kitchen. Today I'm going to teach you how to make a sweet and salty snack with only 3 ingredients. So what you're going to need is some Ritz, some peanut butter, your brand of choice, and some melting chocolate. So what you're going to do is you're going to take 2 Ritz crackers, and you're going to put some peanut butter in between the 2 of them and sandwich them together. So here we go. We're going to spread the peanut butter around. It can be as thick or as thin of a layer as you want. Just get some peanut butter on the cracker like that. Then you're going to make a sandwich. Ritz, peanut butter, Ritz. And what you're going to do is you're going to take your melting chocolate. You're going to get a glass bowl, and you're going to melt the chocolate in the microwave. I usually do about 30 seconds, stir it a little bit to make sure it's all melting, and then however much longer you need. I made one of these delicious sweet and salty snacks this morning to show you. So it's a chocolate covered peanut butter Ritz sandwich. So here's what it's going to end up looking. You can choose if you want it to have a rounded top and bottom. Otherwise, if you want to put the peanut butter on the salty side of the cracker, you have a more flat cookie. It's completely up to you. While your chocolate is melting, you're going to get a piece of parchment paper out, open it up so that you'll have somewhere to put the cracker and chocolate once it's done, because if you just put it on the counter, then the chocolate won't stay in your cookie. So I'm going to check my chocolate. It's nice and melty. You're going to stir it up a little bit. The bowl gets hot, so be careful. Make sure you have permission from your parents to use the ingredients in the microwave and other utensils. So my chocolate is pretty well melted, so I'm going to take my Ritz cracker sandwich thing, dump it in the chocolate. I'm going to use a spatula to make sure that both sides of the cookie are nicely covered in chocolate. Be generous with the chocolate. I'm going to stir it around a little bit, and then grab a fork. You're going to pick up the cookie like this and tap it lightly on the side of the bowl. Get the extra chocolate off the bottom. Then just place the cookie on the parchment paper and wait for the chocolate to set. Easy snack, and it tastes super good too. And since it has peanut butter in it, I think it's healthy. I'm just kidding. Maybe ask your parents. But I think it's healthy because it is peanut butter. Thanks for joining me in my kitchen, and I hope you enjoy your snack.
Sounds delicious, Callie. Thank you so much for that demonstration of a delicious snack. You know, people say that cooking is like an art and a science. Science is cool because it produces delicious food. So maybe you can hang out with your parents and see if you can put together a delicious snack tonight. Maybe what Callie made, maybe one of your favorite homemade recipes. But make sure to do it in a scientific way, because today we're getting experimental. So now I want to ask the question of the day. Drum roll, please. There is no drum roll, but imagine in your head. The question of the day is, what is the first thing you're going to do once we have the all clear from the quarantine? When the stay-at-home order is complete, what are you going to go out and do? I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to the Science Museum. It'll be fun. So put your answers in the comments. We're curious. What are your plans? What are you hoping to do after the stay-at-home order is all clear? While you're putting those down, we're going to be handing it off to Emily because she's doing something you can do at home today.
Hello everyone, it is Emily again, and I have a little something to do. So what I am going to make for a science project is homemade silly putty, and you just need 2 ingredients, some cornstarch, and some dish soap. And there are like exact measurements that you can use, but I'm not going to bother with those. I'll just kind of do it by sight and by touch, because that's the fun part about handmade things, is that you can touch it and know what you need more or less of. So I'm mushing up the cornstarch because it got a little humid and we need to kind of declump it a little bit. And then we'll take the dish soap and open it up. And then you put about half the amount of cornstarch, but in dish soap measurements. And then you mix it all up. And it is very messy, so make sure you get permission first before you make this, and just make sure that you're keeping everything neat and clean, and clean up your mess afterwards. Anything that kind of gets dried on the table will just come off with like warm water and soap, which is awesome since it is just dish soap and cornstarch. It looks like we might need a little bit more soap, so I'll pour more of that in there. And as you can probably see, the color of the soap is affecting the color of the mixture itself. So whatever color of soap you have at home is probably what color it's going to turn out to be. Otherwise, you probably can mix in food coloring, but your hands are going to get pretty dirty with that. And then you just keep mixing it together, compressing it, and then it'll turn into a putty eventually. It looks like we need even more soap. And then once it's compressed, it actually kind of becomes more solid than liquid, but still a little liquidy. So if you leave it sit for too long, it'll actually kind of turn into a puddle. Another mixture that you can do with cornstarch, though, is called Oobleck, and it's mixing cornstarch and water, and that's really fun because if you hit it fast and hard, then it'll act like a solid, but if you like slowly put your hands into it, it'll act like a liquid, kind of like what this is doing. And we're probably going to add a little bit more cornstarch to it just to give it more shape. So we'll pour some of that. Almost spilled it. Like I said, it's very messy, but it's super fun to play with and just kind of squeeze into your hands. Super fun, like sensory wise. And yeah, make sure you wash your hands after. If you want to make it with like disposable gloves on, so then you can play with it without getting your hands all sticky like I'm getting, that's a good idea too. But yeah, it's super duper fun to play with, and it's super gooey, and I love it very much. So have fun playing with it, and yeah, we'll see you next week.
Thank you, Emily. Sometimes science is messy, but science is always fun because science is cool. So this week, our memory verse, just as a reminder, is 2 Thessalonians 3:3. So hopefully you're keeping up on that. Hopefully you have it memorized by now. If not, there is still time before the week ends. And now we will be going to another one of our favorite segments here, Science with Lisa.
Hi! Welcome to Science with Lisa. I am a scientist today, and actually what we're doing is really kind of a fun science. It's not really an experiment, but we're going to make ice cream. It's super easy. You need a couple things. You need half and half. You need sugar. You need vanilla, and then you need ice and some sort of salt to make the ice colder. It's sciencey. And then you need 2 sizes of bags. Little, big. So take a little bag, and then you're gonna add your half and half first. You can also use heavy whipping cream. You want half a cup of that. Okay, this is for 1 serving. I'm sure you can do more, but it'll take longer to freeze. So half a cup of half and half. Dump it in the bag. Then you want a tablespoon of sugar, and you put that right in the bag with it. This is gonna be great. I'm so excited. And then you want a 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla. I don't have one of those, so I'm just gonna guess. Depends on how vanilla-y you want it. Doesn't really matter. Just a little bit of vanilla. And then what you do is you close the bag. And I like to get a lot of the air out of it so that you can, that it'll connect more with the ice, and you kind of want to mix it up. So the sugar gets mixed up and the vanilla gets mixed up in there. And I actually like to double bag it, because if the ice and the salt get in with it, it becomes salty ice cream, and we don't want that. So I put it in another bag. Hopefully I remembered all the ingredients. I think I did. And you get the air out. And then you put it in one of these big bags. And in the big bag goes a lot of ice. It doesn't matter how much, you just put a bunch in. Ooh. And then you also want, if you have some rock salt. If you don't have rock salt, you can use table salt, but this gets used for icing your driveways. You might have some at home, or water softeners sometimes use these. So ask Mom and Dad, use about a 1/2 cup of that. Just sprinkle it over the ice. It makes the ice colder. And then at some point you might have to add more ice, but you close this, and then this comes the fun part. You just shake it and toss it around for about 5 to 10 minutes, okay? So we're gonna do that, and then we're gonna come back and we're gonna eat our ice cream, okay? As you can see, I have changed locations, but I finished shaking outside. It leaked a little bit, and I put mittens on because it was really cold. So, what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna leave this for Jeff on his doorstep, and I'm gonna knock and I'm gonna run away. I don't know if I would choose to do that if the person didn't know what I was leaving, because they might be really confused with a bag of ice and milk in the middle. But if you want to try it and your parents are okay with it, that's okay. So I'm gonna leave this for Jeff right here. I'm gonna run away.
Oh, yes! Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! Okay. Okay, all right. Oh, there we go. Oh, I got some spoon. Delivery. I wonder where she went. Like ice cream. All right. That's actually really good. Oh, it's cold, but it's good.
Thank you for that, Lisa and Jeff. That looks like delicious ice cream. And you know what? It's perfect timing too, because right now is just about 3:18, which means it is in fact snack time. So go ahead and grab your snacks, because we are going to enjoy a snack together. And it turns out I have some delicious ice cream myself. That's good, but I think Jeff had the right idea. Ice cream can scientifically be made better by adding deliciousness on top. Now, this right here might just look like a can of Wholesome Farms extra creamy dairy whipped topping, but it is so much more than that. It's science-y. It is a pressurized container of some type of fancy cream, and it is propelled by nitrous oxide. So when I turn this pressurized container over and release the pressure, all the delicious cream comes out, and then I can eat the delicious cream with my delicious ice cream. Science tastes good. So, That is really good. I hope you are enjoying snack time too. Remember, 3:18 every day. It's the best time of day because everyone knows snacks are fantastic. So continue to eat your snacks as we continue on with our day. Right now, Max is going to be telling us something that you all can do at home.
Hey guys, it's Max, the science guy. Get it? Like Bill Nye, but Max. Bill Nye, the science guy. Max Walker, the science guy. Max Walker, the science guy. Science rules. Max Walker, the science guy. Max Walker, the science guy. Max. T-minus 6 seconds. Max
Walker, the science guy.
So, what I have for you today is a little bit of an experiment, a little bit of a craft. So, what you're going to need is a hard-boiled egg, a glass bottle, matches, and a piece of paper, or a lighter and a piece of paper. Both will work. So, first, you're going to get your hard-boiled egg, you're going to de-shell it, okay? Very important step. Then, you're going to want to put that close to your bottle. Take the match and light it. Then, take the piece of paper, start that on fire, put it in the bottle, put this on top, boom! Egg in the bottle. Just like that. Isn't that awesome? A little bit smoky, but that's okay. So what happened was, I put fire in a bottle, right? And then I put egg on top of the fire that's in the bottle. So what was happening was that fire was eating up all the oxygen, which was making this into a vacuum. Now, since the egg was on top, it was blocking more air from coming in, but it wasn't screwed on, so it could slide it. So what happened was the vacuum pulled in the egg and got it into the bottle. Now, if you want to get the egg out of the bottle, what you want to do is you want to flip it upside down to where the egg is covering the gap again. Now, I can't do it now, but what you want to do is you want to get some boiling water or maybe a torch, and you want to hold it right here where all this is. Now, what this is going to do is going to heat up any air that is left inside the bottle, which will then start pushing out and expanding, which will push the egg back out of the bottle. I wish I could show you that, but I can't. But hey, I want to see you guys do this. I want to see how you guys made it work. The bottle that I'm using here is just a simple Starbucks Frappuccino bottle that you can get at basically anywhere. So yeah, I want to see those experiments happen. Maybe we'll get some counting points in there. So yeah, I'll see you guys later.
Thank you, Max Walker, the science guy. That was cool. Because science is cool. Now, you can do that at home. All you need is an egg and a glass bottle. And it doesn't have to be like a Starbucks glass bottle. It could be virtually any type of glass bottle that the egg wouldn't naturally fall through. So it might not be an exact science. Get it? Exact. It might not be an exact science, but it is science. And it is fun. So now we will be going on to a devotion with Jackson.
Hi, I'm Jackson, and I'll be leading your Devo today. Today we'll be talking about living as God's people. Today we'll be in Colossians 3:12 through 14. Therefore, as God's chosen people, holy and dearly loved, clothe yourselves with compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience. Bear with each other and forgive whatever grievances you may have against one another. Forgive as the Lord forgave you. And over all these virtues, put on love, which binds them all together in perfect unity. So, in Colossians, in verse 12, it says, clothe yourselves with all these different traits. And so clothing yourself is putting on. So it wants you to put on compassion, put on kindness, put on humility, and put on gentleness and patience. How do we do that? In our daily lives, we need to show these virtues of God that He tells us in here to show. And then it also says, bear with each other and forgive whatever grievances you may have against one another. That's telling us to forgive each other because God doesn't want us to have those grievances with each other. It also says, forgive as the Lord forgave you. He wants us to forgive because He's forgiven us for so much more, for every sin we've ever committed. He's forgiven us for all those things. And we need to continue to ask for forgiveness, because a gift, there's two options you have with a gift. It's either you accept it or you don't. And so we have to accept that gift of forgiveness. And then in verse 14 it says, and over all these things, over all these virtues, put on love, which binds them all together. So that's telling us we have to put on we have to love each other. We have to have that love. And so another great verse that talks about love is in 1 Corinthians. It's 1 Corinthians 13. It's verse 4 through 7. Love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. It is not rude. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in the evil, but rejoices with truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Love never fails. After reading that, it shows what we should be loving like, and that Jesus loves us, and so we should show Jesus' love to everyone around us. It shows us that God has forgiven us, and so we should forgive others. Another great verse that talks about this, how we should live, is in Romans. It's Romans 12, 1 and 2. Therefore I urge you, brothers, in view of God's mercy, to offer your bodies as living sacrifices, holy and pleasing to God. This is telling us that our bodies are temples, that our bodies, we need to continually show God through us. This is your spiritual act of worship. Do not conform any longer to the patterns of this world. So don't continue to live of the world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you'll be able to test and approve what God's will is, His good, pleasing, and perfect will. So, we need to continue to praise God through all of our actions and through all we do. And so, because that's what God's will is, His good, pleasing, and perfect will. Thank you so much for being here with us on Shamineau Live today, and I'll throw it back to you.
Thank you for that, Jackson. That was a very encouraging word. As always, we appreciate our time of devotion. It's a great time, one of my favorite times of the day. And now we're going to be moving on a little bit. I decided to prepare a science experiment of my own. This is the classic science experiment, the ultimate science experiment. It is a fantastic time. You don't need very many ingredients. All you need is some vinegar, some baking soda, and a film canister, or a small container. This right here is a very scientific tool. It's a film canister. So, long time ago, they used to take photos with cameras that weren't digital. They had this little roll of plasticky stuff called film, and then you'd have to put it in a canister just like this. Well, now we don't use film cameras anymore, so we have literally hundreds of these in the attic. More than that, we have thousands of these. So, we're using them today. Film canister. So, what you need to do is you need to take your vinegar, put it into that film canister very carefully. This is science, you know. Be sure to put your safety glasses on. Get some vinegar in there. And then I like to put it into a little mountain that I built. You can see here I built this little mountain out of dirt. I think it's a very nice little mountain. I call it Mount Shamineau. Don't know why, I just did. So then you take some baking soda and you get ready to put it in your little volcano. But before you do that, I like to grab some food coloring and mix it in with my vinegar, because that always makes things just a little bit more fun, you know? If it looks like lava, it'll be a little more exciting. It'll be more sciencey too. So, take your baking soda and get ready for it. Oh, look, you can already see it starting. And there it comes. Look at that. Look at that science happening. Wow. And there you have it, a simple little volcano. An exciting one too, something anyone can do at home. And have a good time with it too, because it is real exciting. Science is cool, isn't it? Great. Okay, so now we will be going on to some cleaning tips with our SWAT coordinators.
Hi guys, I'm Jack. I'm the SWATC, as you already know, and today it's not quite a cleaning tip that I'm going to give you, but it's a cool fun fact that you can do with fancy ivory soap. Now, if you guys don't know, this is your typical bar of soap. They've made it for many, many years, and it's very, very nice. It keeps you nice and clean if you just rub yourself with it. It helps with water, though, because this doesn't really get me clean. Anyways, so fun fact about ivory, it has air pockets in it. So it also, if you put it in a bucket of water or in your tub, if you're a bath kind of person, you can make it float. It's very nice. However, with that, you can also put it on a microwavable safe plate, throw it in your microwave, and something fancy will happen. You got to put it in there for 1 minute and 30 seconds, and then we just wait. As you can see, it's expanding because of the air pockets in there, and I'll show you what happens when we take it out later. Alrighty guys, that's about where we want it. So once you take it out, you gotta be careful because it's gonna be hot on the underside, right where the soap was, so be careful when touching that. But if you come here, it's very cool because it looks light and fluffy, but no, it breaks. Wow, look at that. And it's just very crumbly and it feels weird. But it makes you smell good because you now smell like soap. So maybe you can trick somebody to think you washed your hands, but don't do that. Actually wash your hands, please. So yeah, it's all crumbly and stuff. And yeah, that was the SWAT tip of the day. You guys all have a nice day now. Bye.
Thank you for that, Jack. That was a lot of fun. I love soap, and you know, ivory soap, you can buy it at any store, so just go somewhere with your parents, ask, hey, can we pick up some ivory soap? I'm sure they'll love the idea, and then you too can do this science experiment. But remember, ask your parents first. Now, we're just gonna go straight into another piece of advice with survival tips with Jeff.
All right, this is Jeff Quaver reporting live. Welcome, Shamineau Live. We're at a wildfire. Yeah. Key to keeping wildfires out are to not start them. On the other hand, burning is good at times to clear off some of that underbrush. As you can see, got it under control with the right people and the right crew, but never do this at home. We're just out here testing if fires are cohesive with the wilderness right now, and they totally are. So no fires if you can help it. Have a good day.
I cut that early.
Thank you for that. Speaking of fires, gets me a little thirsty sometimes, so I decided I would show you a wonderful, cool, science-y experiment drink that you can make for yourself. First, you will need some dihydrogen monoxide. Fancy name for water. Why is it called that? I'm glad you asked. So, dihydrogen. Di means two, hydrogen is hydrogen. So hydrogen, and you have two of those. Hydrogen. Mono means one. Oxide, that's oxygen. Dihydrogen, two hydrogen, one oxygen. Dihydrogen monoxide, H2O, which you may or may not know is another name for water. So, this is something that you need to know about being a cool scientist. Scientists make up cool names for things that have other, more boring names, like calling water dihydrogen monoxide. That's way more cool than just calling it water. In addition, you might see a loon and you might call it a gavia, because that's a scientific name for a loon. Scientists don't call loons loons, they call them gavia, because it sounds more cool, and science is cool. In addition, the red pine, for example, is Pinus resinosa. That's exciting. That sounds cool. Cynosistia christia is a blue jay. Science is cool because it has cool names for things that you already thought you knew the name of. So you take your dihydrogen monoxide, or water, and then you take some lemon juice, which is a citric acid, and you pour that carefully into your dihydrogen monoxide. And then you take some of everybody's favorite substance, common household sugar, and you mix that in to your dihydrogen monoxide. Now, as I was doing this, folks, I had to be real careful because I have some jars back there that are vinegar and some jars up back there that are water, and I didn't want to make that mistake because that would not be delicious. But this will be delicious. And then you give her a nice little stir. And then you have a delicious sweet citrus dihydrogen monoxide compound. Tell that to your friends at school. That is delicious, folks. Definitely not vinegar. So now with that, I just want to let you know that we are still collecting cabin points. So you'll be getting points for posting, for commenting, for interacting. So yeah, and then whatever new ideas you can come up with, just shout out your new ideas to us. Tell us if you think you have a cool idea for a theme, if you have a cool idea for something to do at home. Let us know. If you want to see something that we do here at camp, let us know and we can try to bring it to you. And for interacting like that, you will get some cabin points. Because remember, today is Friday, Science Friday. Science is cool. And the last day of the week, which means you have to get your cabin points into us so we can calculate the winner of Family of the Week. And so now for our daily challenge. Every day we bring a daily challenge to you, and we have a particularly great one for this weekend. This weekend, we want you, with your family, to do a Bible study. It can be on any topic that you want. It can be from the Old Testament, it can be from the New Testament, it can be on a story, it can be on one of your favorite passages, it can be on an entire chapter or just one or two verses. So, do a Bible study with your family. That is our challenge for you. And now, looking outside, it looks like it's time for Out the Window Weather.
Hey guys, welcome to Out the Window Weather. Scout here, an OH10, ready to give you guys some weather, okay? So, as you can see, it's a little bit of sun today, but there's clouds, so it's like cloudy. So it's both a little bit of sun, a little bit of dark, as you know is coming up soon. But other than that, there's not very much wind today. And so it's really nice out today. It gets a little cool once the sun goes down, but other than that, it's really good. But I need some help from one of my friends down here, so give me 1 second, okay? Here we go. Woo. I just swallowed a leaf, guys. I don't do that. Anyways, so here we go. I have a rock here that's going to help me tell the weather. Yeah, okay. Really? Did he really say that? No, I want the weather. Okay. All right. Thanks, buddy. Here we go. Boop. All right. He said that tomorrow, say with me, just like I say, he says too, 50% shine and 50% dark, okay? Other than that, the weekend is going to be looking wonderful. Sunshine and warm rays coming your way. So without further ado, this is Scout signing off with Out the Window Weather.
Thank you for that, Scout. Speaking of science things, because another name for weather is meteorology. That's an exciting science term. Science is cool. And now we are going to be going on to look at some physics, another type of science, with trick shots with Malachi.
This is the bucket hitter. This is the 3-point soccer shot. This one is called How Far Can I Kick It? Not too bad. This is the long distance bucket shot. Alright, this next trick shot is super difficult. I'm going to try to hit the bucket. Let's see if I can do it. I got it. I feel good about that. Step it up a little bit. Alright, and finally here's the toilet paper tower. Alright guys, I hope you guys enjoyed that, and I hope you guys post some of your trick shots that you do. So, send it back to you guys.
Thank you, Malachi, for Physics Fun with Malachi. And now it's time for one of our reoccurring favorites. Everyone always loves this one. Fun with Herb.
Good to go? Hey guys, welcome to Fun with Herb. Because it's Science Friday, I thought we ought to actually spend a little time thinking about science-y things. I think that's a word. Anyways, one of the things that we're blessed with at Camp Shamineau here is that we get to be out in God's creation all the time. And this time of year is so great to see deep into the woods. I don't know if you've read any of the Gary Paulson books, but one of the things that he talks about, that as a kid, he learned to look deep into the woods, not just at the stuff that was going right by his face, you know, out the car window. But when they'd go on long road trips, he would try to look deeper into the woods, and he'd get to see stuff that other people didn't. This is a perfect time of year to do that. And one of the things that we get to see here at Camp Shamineau is kind of the geology of this place, which is really fascinating. A friend of mine is a geologist for the state of Minnesota, and he said, Herb, every time I come to Camp Shamineau, I'm reminded of Noah's flood. Well, that seemed weird to me, but here's one of the things that he showed me. He said, Herb, if you just take a regular map of Minnesota, even just a regular highway map, you will notice, and here's what I did on this one, I colored in a whole bunch of the lakes. And he said, Herb, you'll notice that there's a ring of lakes down here in southern Minnesota that go up to the Red River Valley. And then there's kind of an arc of lakes right in the middle. And then way up in the boundary waters, you got thousands and thousands of lakes. Well, he said, Herb, the first ice flow, the first glacier over Minnesota, covered all the way down here. And in southern Minnesota, that's where we have all that great black soil. Well, the second glacier came, and he said, Herb, it ended right on top of Camp Shamineau. And it left all this sand. And that's what our soil is here. Nothing but sand. And then up in the boundary waters, some of you have been up there, maybe up to Rock Ridge. That's where the third glacier ended, up there, and there's nothing but rock. Because the good stuff got scraped down, the sandy stuff ended right on top of Camp Shamineau, and then there was nothing but rock left up there. Well, we're going to go out in our woods, and we're going to use our eyes to look deep into the woods, and we're going to be able to see what those glaciers did. And my friend said, Herb, if you picture a huge glacier ended right on top of Camp Shamineau, and now it's melting, there's these huge waterfalls coming down off of the ice flow. And he said, in your woods, Herb, I can see exactly what that all of those waterfalls did. Come on, I'll show you. All right, so here we are at the first thing I want to show you. Out in the middle of our Shamineau woods, there's a deep hole here. And in fact, if you look all around, it goes up to a ridge, and on the other side of those ridges, it drops down again into another big hole. Now, this friend of mine that's a geologist for the state of Minnesota, he said, Herb, you know what caused that? He said, remember the second glacier that came over Minnesota and ended right here. Now, picture a quarter mile or even half a mile thick of ice, and now it's melting, and these huge waterfalls are coming off the top, and they're dropping down into the sand that they dragged here and just digging out these great big holes. Now, in fact, this friend of mine said, Herb, I think all 3 glaciers came over Minnesota in 1 year. That's crazy. How could that be? Well, then he reminded me that, you know, Herb, geologists tell us that all of Minnesota, in fact, all of the United States, at one point was underwater. Well, when would that have been? It's obvious. That would have been during Noah's flood. And he thinks that those 3 glaciers all moved over Minnesota and went back and came over and went back within the course of a year, moving all of this soil and everything with it. Tell you what, I want to show you another deeper hole. Let's go take a look.
Ready.
Hey, here we are at a second hole in our woods. Well, the second of hundreds of holes in our woods. But I really like this one because it's so steep. Again, picture a huge waterfall carving out this hole in the sand. You know what? On the video, it's really hard to get a perspective of how steep and deep this is. Here we are, the largest glacial hole that we have at Camp Shamineau. It's called Lake Shamineau. Yeah, it's a glacier lake that was carved out by ice and waterfalls. You know, there's so many other things we could be looking at in the woods. This is just a small piece that shows us about God's creativity and His power and the way He did things. Romans 1:20 tells us that all the invisible qualities of God and His divine nature are revealed to us in His creation. We need to spend some time in creation. Along with God's Word, He's also given us creation that speaks about Him as our divine Creator.
Thank you for that, Herb. Super interesting, super fascinating, really good stuff. And now I want to do another little science experiment. So what I have here is a bottle with a little bit of vinegar in it and a balloon that I've put baking soda in. This will be a lot of fun. So be careful with this one. And like I say, make sure to wear your safety goggles. Possibly do it outside because it might get a little messy. I don't think it will, but who knows what will happen. This is science. We experiment. We're going experimental. Ooh. Uh-oh. I'm terrified. It's gonna explode. I hope it doesn't explode. I don't think it will, but it might. Oh, it's green! Haha, look at that! Look at how sciencey that is. That is amazing. Wow. That is science, everyone. Haha. And it didn't even explode. This is good. This is a good thing. Okay, so now we're gonna be going on to a little game. So let's see what we have.
Hello everyone, I'm Jackson, and I'll be showing you your game today. So today we're doing a game called Sacred Heart. All you need for this game is 1 deck of cards, and I have it right here. You'll want to shuffle it right up and get it nice and ready. So all you have to do is you can have 2 to 5 players, or 5 players. So with 2, you deal out 10 cards to a person. After you deal out your 10 cards to each person, you'll take the top card from the remaining cards and flip it over. That is now your discard pile, and this is your draw pile. You're now able to look at your deck of cards. Now it's my turn. So I'm going to first draw a card. And so then I look at my hand, and if I am able to play, I can play down some cards. So I have a 4 of a kind. I have 4 queens, and then I also have 3 jacks, so I'll lay those down. And I also have another pair of 3s. So my turn, I have laid down all of these cards, and I just have this one card left, and now I'll discard it. So the game is now over because I'm completely out of cards. The other person, the other player, they will now count up their points. But say they played down another pair earlier in the game, they don't have to worry about those points. They only worry about the points they're holding in their hand. Even if you haven't laid down any cards and you still have full cards and the other player hasn't completely gone out, they still have some cards left in their hand, I can add on to their pairs or their runs because you can lay down until the person has run out of cards. So this person has now run out, and I have played those earlier in the game. I will start to count up my points. Kings, queens, jacks, and 10s are all worth 10 points, so face cards are worth 10. You do not want points. Aces are low, so those are only worth 1 point. And so you add up your points, and once you get close to 100, once you hit 100, then you lose. So the first person who reaches 100 loses the game. And that's how you play Sacred Hearts. Bye.
Thank you for that, Jackson. Seems like a lot of fun. Almost as much fun as we have here at Camp Shamineau. As we get ready to wrap up over the weekend, consider all the fun science things you can do, because remember, science is cool. And remember to sign up for summer camp. We're planning on going ahead as normal, so sign up, get ready to sign up. People are signing up right now, and we're really looking forward to summer because after everything going on now, we all know we are going to be ready to get outside. This is going to be a great summer, everyone, and hopefully it'll be a great weekend too. So we'll see you on Monday back here on Shamineau Live, where we remember science is cool.
Welcome to camp, we're glad you've come. Hope you're ready to have some fun. If you got bad breath, then chew some gum. The summer started and we're glad you're here.